Lokomotiv Moscow, officially known as FC Lokomotiv Moscow, is one of Russia's most prominent and historically significant football clubs. Founded in 1922, the club has deep ties to the Russian railway industry, which is reflected in its name and emblem. Over the decades, Lokomotiv has built a reputation for resilience, disciplined play, and a passionate fan base, making it a fixture in both domestic and European competitions. Origins and early history. The club traces its origins to a railway workers' football team in Moscow. Initially, it played under the name Kazanka, named after the railway depot where many of its players worked. In 1936, with the establishment of the Soviet Top League, the club officially became Lokomotiv Moscow. The connection to the railway industry was not just symbolic, it was institutional, with the Soviet Railways sponsoring and managing the team. This affiliation gave the club a unique identity, with railway motifs often appearing on its badges, kits, and culture. Soviet-era achievements. Lokomotiv Moscow was never the dominant force in Soviet football like Dynamo Moscow or Spartak Moscow, but it often played the role of a competitive underdog. The club's most notable successes during this period were winning the Soviet Cup twice, first in 1936 and again in 1957. Their style of play was characterized by solid defense and strategic counterattacks, often relying on well-organized teamwork rather than individual flair. However, during certain periods in the Soviet era, Lokomotiv struggled to remain in the top flight. Relegations and promotions became part of its story, but the team always fought back, a trait that endeared it to its supporters. Post-Soviet resurgence. Following the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, Russian football underwent a major transformation. Lokomotiv Moscow, still backed by Russian railways, used this opportunity to modernize its structure and strengthen its squad. The club's real rise to prominence began in the late 1990s under the guidance of coach Yuri Semin, who would become one of the most important figures in Lokomotiv's history. Under Semin, Lokomotiv became a consistent contender in the Russian Premier League. The team's disciplined tactical approach, combined with a mix of Russian talent and foreign signings, turned them into a formidable force. Domestic success. Lokomotiv Moscow won its first Russian Premier League title in 2002, breaking the dominance of traditional powerhouses like Spartak Moscow and CSKA Moscow. This triumph was repeated in 2004. These titles were built on strong team cohesion, solid defense, and a midfield that balanced creativity with work ethic. In addition to league victories, Lokomotiv excelled in the Russian Cup, winning it multiple times. The club's ability to perform in knockout competitions became a defining feature, with cup victories in 1996, 1997, 2000, 2001, 2007, 2015, 2017, 2019, and 2021. This record made Lokomotiv one of the most successful cup teams in Russian football history. European competitions. Lokomotiv Moscow's reputation also grew in European tournaments. They participated in the UEFA Champions League and UEFA Cup, now Europa League, earning respect for competitive performances against stronger, better-funded clubs from Western Europe. One of their most memorable European runs came in the 2003-04 Champions League, where they reached the round of 16. Home ground, RZD Arena. Lokomotiv plays its home matches at the RZD Arena in Moscow, a modern stadium with a capacity of around 27,000. The venue, named after Russian railways, Rossiyskiy Желezny Dorogi, features modern facilities and a design that accommodates both domestic league matches and international fixtures. It is located in the Cherkezovo district, which has long been associated with the club. Rivalries. Being based in Moscow means Lokomotiv is part of the city's intense football rivalries. Matches against Spartak Moscow, CSKA Moscow, and Dynamo Moscow are fiercely contested, often attracting large crowds and heated atmospheres. Among these, the rivalry with Spartak is especially intense, driven by both historical competition and city pride. Recent years and modern standing. In recent seasons, Lokomotiv has remained a competitive force in Russian football, though it has faced challenges from rising clubs such as Zenit St. Petersburg. The team's style continues to balance disciplined defending with quick attacking transitions. Russian internationals like Dmitry Baranov and Anton Miranchuk, alongside talented foreign players, have helped maintain the club's status near the top of the league. The club's leadership has focused on developing youth talent through its academy system while also making strategic signings to strengthen the squad. Lokomotiv's approach blends tradition with modernization, seeking to uphold its historical values while adapting to the evolving demands of modern football. Club identity and culture. Lokomotiv Moscow's identity is deeply rooted in its railway heritage. The club's crest features a bold L shape and a football within a stylized train wheel, symbolizing speed, movement, and connection. The fans, known for their loyalty and colorful matchday displays, often incorporate railway themes into their chants and banners. The club's colors green, red, and white are instantly recognizable, with green symbolizing the fields, red representing passion and determination, and white reflecting purity and fair play. Legacy. Lokomotiv Moscow stands as a symbol of perseverance in Russian football. While it may not have the largest trophy cabinet compared to other European giants, its consistent ability to compete at a high level, its deep cultural ties to the railway industry, and its loyal supporters have cemented its place as one of Russia's most respected clubs. With a rich past and an eye on the future, Lokomotiv remains a vital part of the country's football landscape.